trespass into my domain? Your arrogance will be purged in living flame.
I smelled them too, Riplin. Outsiders encroach on the Fire Lord's private grounds. Find their trail. Find them for me, that I may dispense punishment.
A little laggy. The hell am I? I'm like feared or something. I'm like, what is going on? That was weird. I couldn't move or anything.
you can kiss your ass goodbye.
Ooh, that was close. Most of this stuff I've already gotten before. I've actually done this raid so many times.
What have we here? Visitors to our kingdom, the fight you mortals may remember on this rock who spirited me to freedom in Mount Hydra. She too has been reborn.
It'd be nice if I could move.
I serve a new master now, mortals.
I think I've gotten already most of the stuff in this particular. I'm sure I haven't gotten it all, but I have done this. Ooh, we got a mount. Look at this. I got the Flame Talon of Owl. Whoa, that's like a rare drop, isn't it? Flame Talon of. What's the drop rate on that? It says Flame Talon is a rare epic ground mount that drops from elemental Firehawk boss. It's a 4% drop rate and requires. Oh, it's a 4% drop rate. That's pretty low. That's a pretty low drop rate. That's pretty cool. That made running this dungeon all the more worth it, right? Since we got the flame out, we might have to go with the flame transmog. That's pretty cool. The one thing you got to give World of Warcraft is there's so much. I think more so than any MMOs, there's more variety of gear in WoW than there is in really any other MMO I can think of. When you think about how much gear there is and all the different transmogs and types of gear, and now you can transmog like white gear. I think you can even transmog gray gear now, which is the same. Oh, we got priests too, so we're gonna have some serious health in this battleground. Nice. I like having priests in the battleground. 2 priest healers is always good. This protection paladin only has 35,000 health compared to my 50. I've got 50,000. It's the first time I've topped 50,000. I was gonna say I was stuck there. Did you see that? I got stuck. I'm not sure what I was stuck on. I was stuck on something. I couldn't move. And then it dismounted me. It's time to show them who the real king is. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Respect the rue. Nah. Wish I had water walking. Wouldn't that be nice?
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I used a lot of my cooldowns there, though, unfortunately. We still got about 3 minutes, 38 seconds on a couple, but we should be fine.
kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Who do we want to kill is the question.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
This is ridiculous. Just get the flag. That's right. I'm just like, get the flag, man. Let's get the flag. I need to do more damage. We need more damage. How did they? Oh, they just took our base? Come on, really? Okay, well, that doesn't look good. Come on, people. No, they're not gonna hit mine. They're just fighting in the middle of the road. They're literally fighting in the middle of the road. Well, let's see how many people are over here. We got what? A warrior? Oh, we got a warrior, a shadow priest, and a warlock? Is that what I saw? I can't take out 3 people. If it was 2, I could take out 2. Especially if they're 2 melee. Yeah, warlock. This team sucks, man. I don't even know what they're doing. They're just fighting the road. Yeah, fuck, well. Sucking ass. Just get the flag. Tap it. Tap, tap. Little tap, tap, tap-a-roo is all you need. Watch me run in and tap this flag. Okay, they already did. About time. All you need is a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo. Now you got every alliance person running here, leaving. Look, everybody's leaving Lighthouse. Yeah, just... They literally just all left Lighthouse. Just completely left. The whole team's there. Yeah. Mines, they literally had like the whole team there. Look. They're gonna lose mines. Oh, Nut Goblin. This guy's actually pretty good. I've seen it. I've seen him in some other BGs. Not sure what the hell he did. Yeah, with that Night Goblin, he does good damage. Oh, this team sucks. Come on. I like won like 5 battlegrounds in a row last night to come online today and lose like the first 2, I think. Because these guys are just, I don't even know what they're doing. It's like there's no commitment. They're just like fucking scattered like ants. Like somebody kicked an anthill, man. And we don't have enough to take this. Plus there's another, you know, you've got 1, 2, 3, plus you've got another one coming in. You got 4. This guy's just gonna run in and get killed. And yeah, he has, watch this guy. This senior spank. You're dead, dude. Like he just laid on hands. Watch, dead. It's just like, I don't know why. You know, I don't like to be cruel because you never know. That could be like a 5-year-old kid playing that character, so you don't want to be mean. But you know, when there's like 4 or 5 and you're by yourself, it's probably not a good idea to charge in. But yeah, you never know who's on the other side of the computer, so you really shouldn't be mean to other people. I constantly have to remind myself that because it's easy to get mad and be like, "Oh, you suck," but man, what if it's like some autistic kid playing WoW for the first time? You know how awful I would think? How awful I would feel if I knew that I was being mad about some poor autistic kid or special needs kid playing World of Warcraft for the first time who's having a great time even though he's getting killed and having fun, and here I am, some asshole on the other side of the computer yelling at him. I'd feel like the biggest piece of shit on the planet. I just bubbled. I didn't even mean to bubble. I just fat fingered it, man. I just fat fingered it. I was like, whoops. I just totally like screwed up that encounter, yeah. Yeah, let's kill this pet. He's dead. That pet's dead. Yeah, let's just kill this mage, right? Ooh, nope, sorry. At this point, I've just kind of given up on the team. They're so bad.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Really? Come on. Look at this stun. I hate this thing. You put him in this thing, I can't do damage to him. Does he do that to himself, or is that something somebody does to him? I don't even know, man. Like, I don't even know. I'll just silence the mage. Here comes incoming silence! There it is, silence. We're going to use our racial right here. Right there, you can see the racial nailed him. And now we've got this hunter. We're going to open up a can of whoop ass on this guy, hopefully. Oh, I jumped over his trap. You see that? I literally jumped over his trap. Okay, this could be a problem. That I was gonna say that could be a problem because I had no healing coming and I got stunned. You know, it's like that could be an issue.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. can kiss your ass goodbye.
This is gonna be an issue. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm definitely dead there. I actually must admit I gave up on this battleground. I was so frustrated with how bad our team was. I was just like, gave up. I mean, we have the top 4 healers in the battleground and we're losing. It's just, that shows you like just lack of, just don't get me going. It's just sad. S-A-D. Sad is how, that's how I would describe this battleground. I mean, you have, it's just, you know, you just look at the map, it's like the whole team's on one node. Just, oh, God. I wonder if there's, you know, someone said it in the stream the other day that if maybe there's a battleground, like a battleground guild or something I could join. I probably should create a character on Tichondrius, you know. Let's see. We are going to hit level 60 soon, and then that's going to be interesting because I'm going to go from like being probably, you know, almost unkillable in Battlegrounds right now to like probably hitting level 60 and going then basically getting my ass handed to me because then we're going to be in the top PvP bracket. So I'm assuming that's going to mean that, you know, we're going to be going up against people who are really, you know, we're going up against people who really have good, you know, good gear, like top level PvP gear, and I'm just going to get stomped.
I am honored.
A lot of people actually lock. It's become, I think, pretty common, pretty popular for people to lock their experience at like one level, like at level 59, for example, because I don't know, they just do, you know, like you're not going up against that, you know, people. I don't know why you would want to do that, but some people do. I could see like back in the days of, for example, like Mist of Pandaria or something, and you might want to lock experience at like level, you know, like level like 70 or something, you know, or level 80, you know, Wrath of the Lich King or something, because you enjoy doing PvP in just that bracket. But I've never done PvP in Dragonflight, so I have no idea what it's like. We're buzzing low, buzzing the wolves. Yeah. This area looks completely different. What the hell is this? Is this forward? What level are they? Oh, they're only level 30. It's still effed up after Cata. The whole world is, after Cataclysm, is garbage in my opinion. I hated what Cataclysm did to the world. And I don't think I'm the only one either. Let's do.
King's honor.
I need to
Go
repair.
with honor, friend.
Where's a repair person? I have no idea.
Come on over and have a look.
I don't think a chef's gonna be able to repair my gear. We'll just go to the vendor, weapons vendor. Whoops.
You need something?
28 gold repair bill. I need to sell some add-ons to just like auto sell stuff because I'm actually manually selling stuff. Plate. What is this? I don't know. I'm just selling everything. You can't really get any money for any of this stuff. What is this? Great helm. That's actually what I'm wearing, isn't it? Interesting. Blizzard account bound. Polished pet charm. I have no idea what that's for.
Safe travels.
And I don't think I can get to Dragon, not until I get level 60 can I get to the next zone. The next expansion. I'm worried that being in a group with another person is going to make the queue times go slower. Queuing as a group isn't always the most optimal. There's a dungeon here, the Siege of Borealis. What's that, and how do you get to it?
Hero, your timing couldn't be better. Mechatork is fading fast.
I don't know if I've ever done the Siege of Borealis. I don't know if I've ever done this dungeon. Maybe, I have no
Heroes,
idea.
we'll secure the docks while you push further into the district. With any luck, we'll drive this scum from the city before high tide.
These guys are actually level 50. What did I get for wasting all the time killing those guys? Some gold. Like 32. What did I get? 19 gold? We're just here for the bosses. We have to find the bosses and kill the bosses. Yeah, this queue, man. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to be in a group. Makes queue times go longer. Oh. Oh, this BG kind of sucks. Where's my knife? No, here's. Ah, Coca-Cola. How much time? 1 minute, 33 seconds. We got some food. Give me the food. Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to getting into level 60 in the next battle group. I'm really concerned that we're going to get annihilated. Absolutely annihilated.
Looking to buy?
May your days bring you joy.
God, we're completely outnumbered. The Horde have like, I think the Horde have 3 more people than we do. And how did I jump in the water? What the F? Why am I in the water? What the hell? Totally was like not paying attention. I ran right in the water like an idiot. But yeah, we're already starting off not good because we're down like 3 people, so. Yeah, this. We'll just their whole team's sitting here basically.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. 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 You can kiss your ass goodbye.
So he also has a character that's obviously extremely tanky. Well, he doesn't have that much health. He has a lot less health than me. So I'm a little surprised he was as tanky as he was. Yeah, very tank demon hunter. And he gave up. He tried to kill me for a while, and he finally just said, you know what, I can't kill you, and he took off. I'm just going to head over. Okay, he's going that way. Which I guess could be a good idea. But now you're leaving this poor guy to here by himself. Yeah, this isn't good. Yeah, it's weird. It's like as soon as it gets past like 5 p.m. my time, it's like all the kids or something come out of school. I don't know what goes on. I don't know if the good horde players finally get logged on, but every day after 5 p.m., the Alliance start losing battlegrounds. Up until 5 p.m., the Alliance actually does really well. But after 5 p.m., the Alliance just start losing. It's every day. You know, and as long as I've played World of Warcraft, I'd say since Cataclysm, it's pretty much been like that. It's always been like that for me. Like night times, Alliance just doesn't do well. During the day, different. There's this guy. I don't know what he's gonna do. I'm not gonna.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Dead. Our whole team's here. It's like 7 people there. Another loss. Fuck. Dude, I won like 5 in a row last night. At least 5 games in a row. And then all of a sudden I get on like after work today and lose every single fucking battleground. It's like, what the fuck? What's up, Birdie? Yeah. But I mean, seriously, dude, like last night, I won like 5 battlegrounds in a row easily. I mean, I was hot. I was happening. And then I work today, and I get off work, and I jump in. It's just loss. And I'm just getting these teams. I don't know what they're doing, dude. Look at this shit. Let's see. Look at the honorable kills. God. Look at the deaths. Lions. Of course, notice, where am I at? I'm down here. I've died once. But yeah, it's just frustrating, man. Very frustrating. Yeah, I'm support. I do my best when I'm standing on a base protecting, you know, other people. That's when I'm at my best. The problem is we have some really, like, tanky people in this battleground.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Oh, that was a screw up on my part. This guy's super tanky. He's as tanky as I am. This guy right here, I don't know how, but this fucking Demon Hunter is like insanely tanky. He only has like 35,000 health, so I have no idea how this guy is so tanky, but he is, man. It's insane. He must be regenerating health when he hits people. I think he regens when he hits people. So I'm gonna try to kite, you know, stay away from him. Don't let him hit me, you know? So that he can't, you know, so that he can't regen health. Well, let's just focus on somebody else.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. 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 You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I just love how people chase me, and after a while they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna give up. Dude, okay, bye-bye, spider. Hey, what's up, Balasar? How you doing, man? Balasar, that's kind of a cool name. Balasar, Ford Dragon. Very much a D&D name. I was watching, I don't know if you guys ever watch XP to level 5, which is the D&D guy who has a YouTube channel. He was playing Baldur's Gate today, and he was doing a live stream where he was having people vote on the name of his character. It was pretty funny. Pretty entertaining. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do at level 60. I might have to play a different character, like create something different, because I don't really know if I want to level from 60 to 70 through the Dragonflight doing PvP, because I'm probably just going to get stomped, because everybody's already going to be, you know, have all the PvP gear on their characters, probably. You know, so I'm going to be running into people who are like full like arena battleground gear while I have none, you know. And I will literally just probably get stomped into the ground. I'm not sure what that guy was. His plan was. His plan was, I want you to die, Mr. Bond. Or in that case, I want you to die, Mr. Hunter. That was his plan. To die. Oh, you don't think I face... Oh, you think 60... Oh, well, that's cool. Hey, Dream, if that's true, then I can go ahead and level to 69, and then at 69 we'll stop. Because once we get to 70, then we'll hit... So we'll hit all the people with the full gear at 70 then. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Almost about to go home. I'm done with work for the moment, but I actually plan on, believe it or not, I need to do 2 or 3 hours worth of work probably tonight before I go to bed, which I'm not looking forward to. I've got a meeting tomorrow that I got to probably prepare for. Fire mage.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Ah, nothing I can do here. I'm dead.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Pretty sad. Deaths. Oh, poor Lundgren. He's in my group. He's died 9 times. Ouch. He's not having a good battle round. Well, let's see. Where do I want to go? We've got a ton of... They're calling out. Keep rotating. I don't really know. Okay. There's a team fight here. We're definitely probably going to lose this one. Well, let's give it a go. I don't think we're going to win this one. Oh, no, that mage is dead. Maybe we will win this one. Okay, yeah, we are. I thought there were more. Never mind. No problemo. Farm. Okay, I got that. Who is it? Sword? It's Alliance. Maybe I can sneak, what is it, Ruins? I don't know, I've got a headache. Oh, great. Just when I need a headache, considering I gotta work tonight. Today's gonna suck. Yeah. How is it that a demon hunter can move faster than me when I'm on a mount? See that? That demon hunter, like, straight up is almost moving faster than I am, and I'm on a mount. You know, what's that all about? Well, there's a bunch of horde behind me, so I can't take, Who's hitting me? Oh, it's this hunter.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Damn it. Ugh. Fuck, I hate losing and I hate having a fucking headache. Taking some Advil. Yeah, that group sucked. Man, when are we gonna get a new MMO? You know, when are we gonna get a new MMO that we can actually play? Everybody's playing Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate's a good game, but it's not an MMO. It's not. It's a fucking turn-based RPG, which is fine, but I don't want to play a turn-based RPG right now. I want to play an MMO. Because as Josh Drive Hayes says, MMOs are the greatest games ever created. Greatest games ever created. It gets boring. The turn-based is cool, but it gets a little boring. It does get a little boring. I'm out of this group. I think I'm gonna... Yeah, my head's really hurting. And it's fucking hot as shit in this office. Oh, I'm very irritated right now. It's so hot in here. I'm very irritated right now. It's fucking hot as... It's like fucking the Sahara Desert in my office right now. That's what it feels like. And I've got a headache. All right, yeah, I mean, why can't we get, like... Have you guys watched the, I think there was a new Pantheon Plus had a new video. Let's see.
Hey everyone, it's Theric here from Pantheon Plus, and I wanted to make a video about a game that
So Theric, I like Theric. Theric's a good guy. He's one of the guys that's on that works on the Pantheon Plus website. Of course, these are guys that have been kind of waiting for the MMO Pantheon Plus to come around, which of course it's one of those really old school. But there's this game out called Eternal Tombs, and it looks, you know, it's old. I mean, obviously it's private. It's a small company that's making the game, so you know it's not going to be amazing. But what they're doing is kind of unusual. They're actually, and I can think of so many reasons why this wouldn't work. Like, so when you look at this, check this out. Listen to this trailer. nice camera shake, right? Fuck, that's loud. God, they've really recorded that at a loud volume. I think even Theric mentioned when he reviewed this that he said they recorded it way too loud. So they have this huge, like, epic-looking dragon. The guy's flying through the air, hitting a dragon, and then the very next scene is a guy running up to what looks like a this big epic dragon. And what's the next scene? Oh, a guy running up to what looks like some sort of a butterfly beast. It was like, it's a big difference, right? But the cool thing about this game, though, is the combat is action combat. It actually looks pretty decent. Like, if you look at the movement and the action combat style, it actually looks fairly decent. A nice little dodge roll. Attacking while moving is always good. Graphics here don't look too bad. I'm not sure what the hell that big mushroom is he pulled out. You know? I don't know what that was. This is some sort of ice lance. But it's very... I see a lot of, like, kind of glitching. That spider's creepy looking. It's very rough. Very rough game. But what's interesting about this game is not really what we just saw. What's interesting is this next bit. Watch.
The land of eternal tombs. Eternal Tombs is an action combat MMORPG with a world run
I love this guy's voice, by the way.
by live dungeon masters who help shape and guide your journey every time you log in. The role of the dungeon master is to provide a constant stream of events and changes within the world to make the game feel immersive, dynamic, and exciting. Whether it is true trolls that have come down from the mountains to wreak havoc in the plains over Rue, or a volcanic explosion ravaging lands in the east, Dungeon Masters are here to build out and trigger dynamic events for those who adventure throughout Mythir. Dungeon Masters are staff members with the power to help you experience something unique every time you play.
So the idea is that there's live dungeon masters in the game, So think about you're playing an MMO, and there's these GMs or dungeon masters that are logged in. They can actually, spawn creatures or spawn events. I'm not so sure. Just like Dungeons and Dragons, one of the problems with Dungeons and Dragons is Dungeons and Dragons goes the way of the dungeon master. If you have a good dungeon master, it's fun. If you have a bad dungeon master, it can be really bad. Well, the people that are these live GMs, if they're really bad, your experience is going to suck. You know what I mean? Are you heading home? Hey, all right, Balasar. Drive safe. So, I mean, there's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of possible issues if you have live dungeon masters.
Open secret portals to unexplored areas, spawn treasure or traps, create dynamic quests, and much more. They have limitless power.
I like that it's got swimming though. That's cool.
You as you dive into the world. In addition to dynamic adventuring, Dungeon Masters have the opportunity to fire up war operations. War operations are a call to all adventurers to carry out attacks on enemy strongholds. As you carry out an operation, your group will face waves of attacking troops, and you'll be asked to survive while trying to discover hidden secrets and mysteries.
See, he shot the mechanism that holds the porkless down.
To help you gain further access into the strongholds. Succeeding in taking out enemy strongholds will...
So the war operations actually sound really cool. They sound just like, kind of like world versus world, or they sound pretty cool. The war operations actually, I think they sound neat. But the live GM idea is games have kind of toyed with this a little bit of having, game masters that would kind of spawn. Because one of the biggest problems with MMOs, when you think about MMOs, and one of the biggest problems is that the content can be really static. Like if you think of World of Warcraft, the dungeons are always the same, right? Until they create a new expansion. Like when you go into vanilla World of Warcraft, Dead Mines is always the same. It's always the same bosses. It's always the same mobs. Everything's the same. The loot they drop is the same, right? So everything you do tends to be a repeat. Like where you're repeating yourself over and over again. Every time you re-roll, it's a different character, but you're killing the same bosses that drop the same loot, and the dungeons are the same. So how do you, one of the big things I've thought about myself, because I've always wanted to make my own MMO, though I'm obviously not going to make my own MMO as a single person. I can, I am a software developer, so I can't write code and all that. But obviously, as one person, I can't make my own MMO. But I've always in my mind thought about how would I solve certain problems that MMOs run into. And one of the biggest problems, probably the biggest problem to me with MMOs, is the fact that content is pretty static, meaning that it's the same. It's not dynamic. We do have dynamic quests sometimes, but even dynamic quests can be repetitive. Like if you go into Guild Wars 2, there are what they kind of like to call dynamic quests. But so you're walking down a road, and this person's got a wagon, and they happen to be like pushing the wagon down the road to the next village, and they're saying, hey, can you help guard my wagon? Well, that's kind of like a dynamic event in that it's not like you went up to an NPC and asked him for a quest. It's like it's something that you just stumbled onto. But the thing is, that same NPC does that trip over and over and over again. So that quest is always there. So in a way, it's still a static quest. So how do you create? And then also another thing is like, what about if you're exploring out in the world, like a really huge, massive open world, and you find some cave hidden, tucked away in the mountains it's really hard to find. You go in there and there's an ogre, and you kill the ogre, and the ogre drops like a really amazing magical item, right? Okay, so in most MMOs, what you would do is you'd be like, this is really cool, and I got this great magic item. You probably would go tell your friend, hey, if you go up into these mountains and go to this cave, this ogre's got a really cool magic item. He goes up, kills the ogre, and gets the same magic item, right? And then, and so the word, it gets passed around. Next thing you know, there's guides on YouTube, there's guides on websites. Hey, this is how you kill this ogre, blah, 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 and then everybody knows about it, right? So that's one of the biggest problems with MMOs is how do you keep things fresh and surprising so that players aren't just following guides. And like you think about even like World of Warcraft, the stupid rested XP bullshit, which I'm a big I hate Rested XP, by the way. I can't stand that add-on. I think any add-on that just tells you what to do is stupid, because it's like basically I'm playing the game because I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to log in and just be like have this stupid add-on that says go from point A to point B. Why would I do that? I mean, why am I playing this game if I'm just following some written guide, you know? But anyway, so that's one of the big things I always think about is how do you get around that? And one of the ways you solve that problem is by doing this. You have a live game master who can dynamically create random stuff at will, right? So in that way, it is going to be pretty unique, you know, because you don't ever know what he's going to do. And also, he can probably tweak the parameters. So he may spawn an ogre in a certain area, but maybe he spawns it, you know, as a level 20 ogre. Maybe the next time he does it, level 23. Maybe the first time he does it, it's an ogre that's got like really weak gear. Maybe the next time he does it, the ogre's got really strong gear. And then if the loot's specific, really super random, then what he drops, or you know, the ogre's going to be different every time. The loot he's going to drop is going to be different every time. So it's not, you know, that's one of the ways you can kind of solve that issue. So there's a lot of issues with MMOs that people haven't solved. There's a great video of you guys. Another video that came out, I think today, was Josh Strife Hayes' video. I haven't watched any of his stuff lately, but I'm always a big fan of Josh. I think he's great. And what Josh did is he actually is basically reacting to his own video that he did, I think 3 years ago, called Why Modern MMOs Suck. So he did this video and how to fix them. He did this video like 3 years ago. So he wanted to come back and like kind of rewatch his own video. And what's funny is he really goes into it, because that video, I think he says like, he probably has a link to it, right? Oh, I hope he does. Maybe he doesn't. I guess we could just, you know, search on it on the site. But here, let's do it. Let's duplicate this. Ooh, what the hell? What? Why does middle mouse close the? Did it really just close the? Oh my God! It's not supposed to do that. All right. Hold on a second. Wow. Normally, middle mouse click will duplicate the tab. I'm not sure what it's doing. Got a little bit of glitch in Chrome right now. So if you go to Josh Strife Hayes, and if you go to, you know, where is it? Josh Strife Hayes, videos, and
MMOs used to be about
I'm going to do it the hard way, duplicate.
It was because you would see the same people repeatedly. I remember when I was young, when I was a teenager, I was playing RuneScape back when in like 2006 or something, and I was standing in a Clan Wars arena at RuneScape, and I just thought it'd be really cool to have an in-game rival.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife.
So here's the video he did called Why Modern MMOs Suck and How to Fix Them from 4 years ago.
And I love MMORPGs.
I love
think
Josh.
They're one of the greatest gaming achievements in the last 20 years, and will continue to be a part of the gaming landscape for the rest of time. The ability to exist within and
so if you guys haven't watched this video, it's pretty good. It's about 22 minutes long. So in this video that just came out today, actually 2 days ago, he basically is reacting to that. But it's funny that the original video is 22 minutes long. This video is 1 hour and 49 minutes long. So he really...
In chat, looking for rival.
He really goes into it. Another thing he does is he does it as a live stream. So he probably did this on Twitch. He probably pulled up this other video, reacted to it on Twitch, and then, of course, he recorded all this, and then he put it up in a YouTube video. So he's actually responding to feedback from people live while he's talking about it. It's actually pretty cool if you guys haven't seen it. And I've only watched the first 15 minutes, but it's funny how he like critiques himself and says, "Oh my God, some of the stuff I do." Like one of the things he did is like in this video here, he's like, "To do the research, I went to Reddit," and he's like laughing at himself here because like really, if you're going to research something, Reddit's really not the first place you're going to go. Reddit, I always call Reddit the cesspool of the internet because I think Reddit's garbage. Sorry, I just do. I mean, there's good information out there, but you got to delve through, you know, mounds of shit to get to any real information. That's why I would much rather just do something like ChatGPT and, you know, and, of course, ChatGPT is not going to have everything. May not always have what I'm looking for, but it's going to give me more credible resources than, you know, Reddit. But actually, it's a pretty interesting video. Let's look at the original.
A consistent virtual world with and hundreds of thousands of hundreds of different stories. They all had several core themes. Let's take some examples and see if you can work it out. These extracts are from other MMORPG fans reliving their...
Okay, this is Terra. I can't believe I couldn't... Wow. I can't believe that I couldn't recognize it quick enough. So it's obvious that Josh is a big fan of Terra, because when he was talking in this other video here, he mentioned Terra, and then he said rest in peace. So he said rip Terra. He like paused, looked at the camera, and said rip Terra. So it's obvious he was a big fan of Terra.
Their favorite memories. 2007 was peak RuneScape for me. Me and my mates used to hop in this Skype chat we had every night after school and all do our own thing. Some of us fished, some trained Slayer, and some just stood around trying to merchant and sell things. But every night before we logged off, we'd meet up and go kill a boss for an hour or two. It wasn't great money because there were so many of us the loot split was awful, but we had the best time together. My guildies and I would stand around in the starting area and welcome any new account we saw being made, give them some basic items, and then follow them around for a while, making sure they were okay. Most of them would join our guild afterwards and loved how welcome we made them feel. We knew the tutorial was rubbish, so we had someone go and help them. I'd stand in the trading tunnel in EverQuest for hours flipping items, buying low one side and selling high the other. You'd spot other people doing exactly the same thing and end up with an intense rivalry, always trying to type immediately after them so it pushed their chat up off the screen first. Back in Neverwinter, if you wanted to do a dungeon with a friend who wasn't the same level as you, you had to actually travel to that dungeon within the world, no group finder. So we'd load up on supplies in the main hub city of Protector's Enclave and ride all the way to wherever we decided to go to. Sometimes lower levels would aggro the
Lord of the
mobs in
Rings.
the higher level maps, and we'd have to waste our supplies just trying to keep
Oh no, that's
alive.
EverQuest. Wow.
But damn, it was good fun.
I
I
played-
remember trying to get into Runes of
I played EverQuest for like a week, like 2 or 3 years ago. I played EverQuest for like a week, like the Project 99 server, and I just couldn't do the bad graphics and how glitchy the movement was. I just couldn't do it, man. After coming out of WoW, having WoW with probably the best, like the smoothest character controller of any MMO ever, and then going to EverQuest, it was so jarring. It was just like I was like, I can't do this, you know.
of Magic years ago. The game had its issues, but the main problem was I couldn't find any advice online about how to do anything, or what certain NPCs or attacks even did. So I spent hours figuring it out and writing stuff down. I ended up with a little notebook next to my PC to check.
And that's actually way more fun. To me, it's more fun to figure the game out by just playing the game than it is to have to go to YouTube and watch videos. Because like now, if I haven't played WoW, like when I played Dragonflight and I started playing a Protection Paladin, leveling a Protection Paladin up, you know, just in PvP, just like what I've been doing today and the last couple weeks. You know, I went online and I looked up, you know, Protection Paladin PvP. I went through a few things. I watched some tier lists. I wanted to see, you know, how bad is it. I knew it was going to be bad, of course, but then I watched a guide, and just the fact that I actually found a guide for Protection Paladin PvP was good. The fact that there actually is a guide out there means that it's not completely awful. So I went out there and I did just enough research to kind of give an idea of how to spec the character. And then after that, you know, you go into the game and you do it. You play it. You figure out, does this build feel good? But I actually prefer to do like what Josh is saying here and not even do that. But because of the way the world works now, because everybody's kind of versed and up to date on the abilities and the classes because they can easily find the information. If you were to just jump into the game and try to play and figure it out, you would be so far behind everybody else because no one's going to do that. No one's going to just say, well, I'm just going to log in and wing it. I have no idea what these skills do. I have no idea what the best talent is, and I'm just going to log in and just try to figure it out. Because if you do that, it's not going to work very well for you. But back in the old days, when there was no real internet yet, everybody was on the same playing field. Everybody had to figure it out, or maybe they had some friends who figured it out and helped them, which of course increases the community. That's why one of the reasons why MMOs will never, I don't want to say they'll never be, but it's very difficult for them ever to be as fun as they were back in, say, like 2000, is because of that one simple fact, that now you can just go online and there's guides for almost everything, right? So the surprise and kind of the learning the game by being in the game, learning it the hard way, doesn't exist that much anymore. Now, it does exist it doesn't really exist on a new game either, because if you guys watch any new MMO, what do they do during the development of MMOs? I mean, Ashes of Creation is a perfect example. They constantly are putting out videos, talking about skills, talking about, showing gameplay, kind of talking about the mechanics. And so you sit there and you watch all these videos, you go to the Discord server, you talk to all the people about the game, and before the game's ever come out, you've probably played a closed beta, maybe an open beta. So, and you've even done like some of the quests and explored some of the zones before the game's even released. So then when the game comes out, you already know how to play the game. You already know how to play your character. So, back in the day, that wasn't the case. You would go into EverQuest or you would go into Lineage 2 or something like that, or RuneQuest. You had no idea what you were doing. You just logged in, created a character, hit some mobs. Oh, I'm level 2. I've got this new spell, Wind Bolt or something. What does this do? And then you read the tooltip. Oh, it does this much amount of damage. Okay, let me try this out. And so it was a lot more fun back then because that figuring it out and everybody being on the same playing field is much more fun, in my opinion.
Check on whenever I couldn't remember and ended up telling other players everything that I'd learned. I have hundreds of stories like this from other players, but after reading them and trying to find the links, I realized something. There are 2 things MMORPGs did that made them great, and it's those 2 things that have been removed or reduced in a majority of modern games. Those 2 things
Community.
1. They were not convenient.
No.
Convenience sounds like a good thing, and indeed, in many ways, it is a positive trait.
And so what he's talking about probably is going to be like fast travel, like being able to figure out like quests and maps, being able to figure out like where things are in the world, being able to figure out like how to do things like crafting, because there's so much access to the guides and stuff. I'm guessing what he's going to say is in these other games, you had to figure this stuff out on your own. There were no guides. And then the biggest thing always is fast travel. Like, moving through the world on foot, as you guys know, takes a long time. When you played Lineage 2, it was an event. Like, you would log in and you would say, okay, I'm going to stock up on speed potions because they help me move faster when I walk across the world. And I'm going to stock up on a bunch of soul shots, which I consume while attacking that makes my weapon do more damage. And I'm going to go to an area. I'm going to spend about 15 minutes, because it takes 15 minutes to walk from this part of the map. Let's say I'm here on the map, and I want to walk over here. It takes like 15 minutes to walk that far. And then I'm going to kill these mobs for 8 hours straight. Just going to farm them for 8 hours straight. And that would be like your goal for that day, right? So you always stocked up on consumables, potions, everything you needed to go out and farm for like 8 hours. One of the good things about some of those older games is they didn't have what I like to call loot bloat. You didn't like loot mobs and have just like gobs and gobs of shit. Like if you watch me in WoW here, like I don't know if you watched, I went into the Firelands and did that dungeon. My inventory filled up almost entirely after just killing like half, after wiping like half the raid. Like my inventory was almost completely full, and I'm walking around with like like 36 slot bags, like 5 of them. And, that never would have happened in a game like, EverQuest or Lineage 2, because you're not, not all that shit's dropping. You're not getting all this stuff that's just constantly, dropping.
For something to have, but making something convenient isn't always an improvement. Let me give you an example to explain.
Is this EverQuest? Because this actually looks pretty good. What I like about these graphics is they're very medieval. I mean, this Bavarian architecture is very medieval. This feels very fantasy. I like that.
Imagine, at the top of a mountain, across a dangerous valley, hidden at the end of a raging river, only shown on a secret map held by a travelling trickster, sits a wise old sage, knower of many things. And this sage will share his knowledge with you if you can find the trickster, take the map, sail the river, traverse the valley, climb the mountain, and ask him a question.
Terra again.
Many try, few succeed. And after years and years, the legend of the sage grows and grows until everyone has heard of him, but few have ever seen him. Now imagine if the same sage lived in the middle of a major city and there were tour groups taken to him every hour. The second example has exactly the same end point as the first, talking to the sage, but the journey to make it happen has been made much more convenient. Surely this is a good thing, right? Well, yes and no. It's good because it makes the end goal easier to achieve, and it's bad.
Okay, well, I'm gonna summarize it, right? So, do we have here? Let's see. Do we have something here? So, I mean, this is super easy, right? So all he's really talking about is this is one of the things that people never, that these MMO companies don't get correct, and I don't know why. I don't know. They're idiots. So this is, I'm burping too much soda. This is a simple fact. In all walks of life, this pretty much is true, right? And it's this simple fact. Let's see. The greater the challenge, or the higher, the difficulty of that challenge or task, the greater the sense of achievement or reward, and thus the greater, and thus, let's see, the greater the sense of achievement reward and sense of achievement. All right, so the greater the challenge or higher the difficulty of that challenge or task, the greater the sense of achievement or accomplishment, right? Accomplishment. Thus, the greater the sense of joy or, happiness at succeeding in said challenge. So this is like the simple fact, right? So when you think about human beings as a race, right, and you think about like the jobs that people have, like some people work at McDonald's their whole life, right? Some people work at office supply store. Some people are programmers like me. Some people are doctors. Some people are nuclear physicists. Some people are Elon Musk, right? Now, all of those jobs have a much greater difficulty, level, right? It's not very hard to work at McDonald's. It's not really that hard to work at an office supply store. It's a little bit difficult to become a programmer, but it's not super hard. It's pretty hard to become a doctor, right? You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, Freddie? It's pretty hard to become a doctor. It's really hard to be Elon Musk. But when you look at all of these things, I guarantee you that Elon Musk has a greater sense of accomplishment in his life and a greater sense of happiness because of that. The doctor probably goes home with a big smile on his face, usually because he's happy that he, it's not saying like the bar exam, like a lawyer taking the bar exam, right? The bar exam is not easy. I guarantee you every lawyer who passes the bar exam is ecstatic. He probably goes to the closest bar, gets drunk, celebrates, right? Same thing with people in college. People in college, that on their graduation day, what do? They go out and celebrate because they're so happy they achieved something that was difficult. So the same thing goes true for MMOs. I mean, if something in the MMO is super easy, it's not really a big deal. You don't really have this great sense of accomplishment. And that's really all Josh Hayes is saying. He's saying, oh, they've got this one sage who's really hard to find. You got to go through all these difficult steps to reach the sage. But the people that do that are going to have this amazing sense of self-worth and a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction and gratification, and they're going to be super happy, as opposed to the people who just get handed, hey, there's this sage around the corner in Stormwind, go talk to him, right? So the same thing happens, like if you look at World of Warcraft as an example. Remember, the first Flying Mount World of Warcraft was in the Burning Crusade, and it was a big deal. Like, you had to go through this big, long quest chain. You had to spend a couple weeks doing repeatable quests to get enough reputation to finally, and when you got your mount, I mean, it was a big deal. You were super happy. You were super excited. Same thing with some of the dungeon mounts, like really, really super rare mounts that drop in dungeons. Like, when they drop, it's an amazing, exciting event for everybody. Same thing with the Warglaives of Azeroth, in Black Temple. It's like 1% drop rate. If it drops, people are salivating, right? People are like, oh my God, But as World of Warcraft got older and older, guess what happened? They started giving mounts out left and right like it's nobody's business. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but in Conquest of Azeroth, when you went into one of the PvP zones, they were giving out like mounts like left. I mean, I got like 3 mounts in one day once. And so it starts to devalue. It doesn't feel that good anymore. If everybody's handing you mounts left and right, it really devalues them. And that's what a lot of MMOs do nowadays, is they make everything super easy. They hand feed the players. They give you way too much loot. WoW does it too. You know, in WoW, perfect example with this Paladin is I was just flying around the world looking for those star mobs on the map because I killed the star mob. I fly down, find the mob with a star, kill him, and he has a chance to drop like a blue item. A lot of times that blue item upgrades automatically to an epic item. I'm killing mobs, getting epic loot. And it's easy. I'm one-shotting these mobs. I mean, how stupid is that? It's all kinds of stupid. I mean, it's just stupid. Like, if I was making an MMO, I would have to cut my own, like, I would have to kill myself if I made an MMO that was that bad. I wouldn't be able to put up with myself. I wouldn't be able to stand myself, you know, if I created something that was that stupid, you know. And when you look, and I could sit there and list off, you know, hundreds of different things in World of Warcraft that are just, in my mind, just stupid. Just really stupid. And actually, Asmongold had a video, and I don't watch Asmongold much anymore. I used to watch his channel once in a while because I thought he was, mostly when he was covering MMOs, but now he covers stuff that I really don't give a shit what he's talking about, to be honest. I don't give a shit about politics or all the other gambling, whatever. I don't care about that stuff. But Asmongold had a video, and I saw it the other day.
There's me right.
And it was why he doesn't play WoW anymore. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. This is a month ago. I saw it for the first time yesterday. But Asmongold says a few things in this little clip that I completely agree with. So check this out.
I just with WoW, like I've kind of just been taking a break, honestly. And it's not like I hate WoW. Like, I don't want anybody thinking I hate WoW. Like, I don't hate WoW. It's just that I just haven't really felt like playing the game. Like, it's like not really a reason to do it. I think they need to reset the game. Like, just completely reset the game. Like, Realm Reborn this shit. And like,
now, see, I don't agree with this. He says reset the game. Now, what he means by reset the game is basically launch fresh servers that are basically, you know, servers that are going to progress through all the content of WoW. And he means reset as in like everything. Like your characters are reset. Like all your achievements. So basically it'd almost be like you creating an entirely new account and jumping into a server, a WoW server that's going to progress from vanilla all the way through Dragonflight. I think that's what he's saying here. I don't agree with that at all. So, but
I give people like a garrison or something like that they can have all their old shit in and like just make the game fun. Don't make it like grindy or whatever, just make it good. Copying 14? Yeah, they should. As far as the economy, as far as everything, bro. Delete everybody's mounts, their pets, their toys, their fucking titles, their transmogs. Delete fucking everything. For what though? To get rid of a game that's had 15 years of FOMO that people don't want to get into because they haven't been playing it for 15 years of FOMO. Would you trust them to not fuck that up? I mean, like, how could they fuck it up more than like what they've already done? But I think that for me, like, what really caused...
So, like, I don't agree with that. I don't think, I mean, to me, like, okay, like, what they need to do, and I've said this about World of Warcraft for probably about the past 3 or 4 years. I've said this. What they need to do is create a new MMO, which they are apparently creating a new survival-based game, but I don't give a shit about some survival. But they need to create a new MMO that's on a completely different IP. That's not World of Warcraft. And Blizzard should have done this like 3 years ago because Blizzard, the one good thing about Blizzard is they have a high degree of polish. You know, they've got a high degree of skill. They've got people. They know how to make MMOs, right? They've made Diablo 4, which Diablo 4 is a good game, but it's repetitive. It's incredibly repetitive. And it's not an open world game. It's pretty much just, you know, something on rails, you know, go here, go there, blah, blah, blah. Go point A, point B, point C. And it's just about how am I going to build these characters, right? Which that's what a lot of like action RPGs are. It's all about like kind of how you're building your characters. To me, that's not enough to make a game interesting for very long. I played Diablo 4 and I thought it was fun and I got bored of it in a couple weeks. I played Baldur's Gate 3 and I thought it was fun and I got bored of that in about 3 weeks. You know, I need a game to have a lot more systems in it than just I'm creating some characters and I can build them differently and go through these different encounters. I need there to be more than that. I need there to be lore. I need there to be history. I need there to be a massive open world that I can just go off and explore in. I need there to be crafting that matters. Crafting should matter. I need the economy to be real. I need the economy to be fun. Like, I don't know about you guys, but do you remember going into World of Warcraft and actually enjoying using the auction house? Like, putting stuff up and selling it and making money and having fun. I got to take this phone call. It's my wife. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. My wife was on the phone, so I had to take that. So we were talking about, I was talking about how as we go, so why doesn't play WoW anymore, and how like he was saying that Blizzard just needs to do a reset of World of Warcraft and just do like a clean slate. But he's saying do a clean slate and just like wipe servers and let people start WoW again from scratch. And I'm like, to me, that's not what they should do.
Caused me to like stop like focusing on it a lot. I feel like I feel like it's too complex, and the complexity of the game is like exhausting. You know, you go into combat and the enemy has 20 debuffs or 20 buffs on them.
And so that's a perfect example of one of the issues with MMOs. And there's a couple of games that I always point to. Well, there's a couple of ways you can kind of handle this. There's basically the limited action set, which is one way that a lot of MMOs handle this type of thing. And it's basically, you look at something like Guild Wars 2, something like Amazon's New World, and they have limited action sets. You only have so many abilities on your bar, right? And like your abilities change with whatever weapon you're using, and you have the ability to weapon swap, so you don't have as many skills. But the game's a lot more simplistic. It's not as complicated, and that's a really good thing. It's specifically a really good thing for PvP because it's hard for someone like Asmongold's here is saying, the game's been, out for a long time, and people are like feeling completely overwhelmed. And if you're a new player to WoW, you feel like overwhelmed. There's just too much to learn. It's like that with a lot of MMOs, but there's a few MMOs that really aren't that bad. Like Guild Wars 2 is one of them because you've got the limited action set because Guild Wars 2 has a max level. And when they created new expansions, they didn't raise the level cap. You just basically would maybe learn a few, special talent paths you could go through to acquire maybe some new abilities, but you still basically had the same, same level. So one of the ways to handle that is with the limited action set. I'm not a big fan of limited action sets. I'm not really opposed to a limited action set. To me, I think the sweet spot for an MMO is 15 to 20, maybe 15 to 25. Actually, I would say like 20. To me, like 20 abilities is a really good sweet spot, right? Having your character to have around 20 abilities. And what I would do is, instead of like saying it's really predicated on, like what weapons you're using, which I guess you could go that route, and I don't really have a problem with that. I do like weapon swapping. I think weapon swapping adds a really nice degree of flexibility to an MMO. So I'm a big fan of weapon swapping because you can in World of Warcraft you can weapon swap. When I play a warrior, I weapon swap all the time. I swap between a two-hand weapon, a sword and a shield, and two swords, right? So I've got dual wield, I've got sword and board, and I've got two-hand. So I'm weapon swapping between 3 weapon sets, and I do that in vanilla WoW, and I love it. It's super fun, and it's one of the reasons why I find the warrior to be one of the funnest classes in vanilla World of Warcraft. And are there different things you can do based on those abilities? Not really. Like, the abilities are pretty much all the same on the warrior, but some abilities are going to be more effective with a two-hand weapon, like Whirlwind, for example. Whirlwind, it's great if you've got a nice, big, heavy-hitting two-hand weapon. Not so great if you've got a sword and board and you're doing a whirlwind with your sword and board. It's not going to be as effective. So for me, like, I think an MMO should be really careful about how you acquire your abilities. And it's better to really let people acquire them very slowly. Like, if you look, for example, in World of Warcraft, if you look at the Paladin's really bad, though. The Paladin's too slow. But the Paladin, they get like Judgment at like level, I think like level 4, if I'm correct. 4 or level 8. Level 4 or level 8. Can't remember which one. And that's about it. They have Judgment, like Hammer of Justice or whatever, the Hodge, and then just auto attack. And then, so it's, you have so few skills, but you really learn how to appreciate those skills. And it's really, you build your character around your talents. And actually, if you look at me like in World of Warcraft, when I'm looking at a talent window in World of Warcraft, a lot of times I lean more towards the passive abilities because I don't want 50 skills that I have to press the button for. I don't want that. Like, if you look at this character here, if you look at my bars, so I have all of these skills. All of these skills, like in one battle, in a battleground, I use a lot of these. Like, I'd say I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'd say I'm using at least 15 abilities almost every encounter. And to me, that's right in that sweet spot. Like, remember I said my favorite amount of abilities for an MMO is 15 to 25. And so right now 15, it's good. And I have the one thing I like about the protection fountain is there's a lot of variety here. You know, I mean, there's a reason, and I'm doing stuff for a reason. You know, like I'm doing this ability here to generate holy power, but it also does damage. It also heals me when this hits somebody. You know, it heals me. Okay, and then I'll do consecration. Well, consecration I'm doing for a lot of reasons. One, it heals me, but when I'm fighting people inside my consecration, I take I think it's take less damage. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. One thing, my consecration also slows people down. Where is it? Consecration heals me, we know that. Here we go. So strength of conviction. So while I'm in consecration, my shield of the righteous and word of glory have 20% increased damage and healing. So, you know, when I'm going in fighting people, I want to constantly keep my consecration up as much as possible. And they've made it easy to do that because the cooldown is really short. I have this neck piece, which allows me to heal myself. It's a pretty short cooldown. It's a 5-minute cooldown, but, you know, 5,000 health is not bad. You know, I've got 46,000 health. I've got this ability here. I have the tier, which basically does an AoE damage to enemies near me, and every enemy it hits, it reduces all the damage they deal by 25%. So that's a really nice damage mitigating ability. I've got Guardian of Ancient Kings, which reduces all damage by 50%. I've got Hard Defender, which reduces all damage by 20%. So, you know, I've got a lot of defensives. You know, I've got my racial ability, Word of Glory I'm using for healing. But I mean, really, the Paladin is pretty cool because not only do I have a lot of skills, but, you know, there's a lot of reasons why I'm using them in the order that I'm using them in. If you can't just give somebody this character and say, play this character, they wouldn't be very good at it until they understood the mechanics, right? You have to understand when to use what, you know, and how to stack things together. I don't know if I can... Yeah, you can also see I got this buff here. Blessing of Dawn. Your next holy power spending ability deals 20% additional increased damage. And I can actually keep this up by judging. Like, judging, I think, actually refreshes the timer on this, I believe. And so that's a really nice... That's another talent that I picked up. All right, hold on a second. Some cat just used the litter and it stinks! I've got to clean that litter off. No, I got to clean the bathroom because that litter is ripe. It does not smell good. And I clean it twice a day, so I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if a cat like peed outside the box or something. Anyways, the shit I deal with on a regular day is annoying. So let's go back to Asmongold's video, though. See, he's talking about Blizzard should just do like a reset.
Like, or 20 buffs more than like what they've already done. But I think that for me, like what really caused me to like stop like focusing on it a lot, I feel like it's too complex, and the complexity of the game is like exhausting. You know,
and so what we were talking about is the complexity of World of Warcraft or any MMO that's been around a long time is because as the MMO gets older and older and older, they keep trying to add stuff to the game, and you have to be like, that's what I was saying. You have to be really careful about what you're adding to the game and when you're adding to the game. So as you're moving, like, for example, in vanilla, characters didn't have a lot of abilities. It was pretty good, right? And then in Burning Crusade, they got a few more, and the Wrath of the Lich King, they got a few more. And after that, it just got too big. It was like ability bloat, right? So expansions really shouldn't add, like, new abilities. I mean, not too much, right? You should build up a character in the game. You have your abilities, and then you can have levels. Like if you think of like Dungeons and Dragons, which I always like to refer to D&D because that's where this all comes from. You can have levels, like, and you know, and I even think like Black Desert's kind of cool because there's no hard level cap. There's a soft level cap, but in Black Desert you can just keep leveling forever, right? And you get a minor, slight benefit of being higher level than somebody else once you get to, you know, these higher levels. And I think most MMOs would be kind of cool if they did that. Of course, it would make a lot of people turn into grinding fools, and they'd die in their bedrooms trying to grind all night long to be just, you know, 0.12 higher level than the next guy. But I think that's funny. But instead of the expansions trying to add lots and lots of new abilities, they really should do more like a Guild Wars 2 thing, where you basically, the expansion allows you to explore new areas and maybe get new gear. Maybe the gear is slightly stronger than what you have, you know, which I think is nice. I mean, you always want to feel like you're progressing. And then maybe give you a way to learn a new specialization. So instead of giving you more abilities that are going to go on your bar, give you a different specialization tree. So so, for example, in World of Warcraft, if you're a Paladin, you've got Retribution, you've got Holy, and you've got Protection. So let's say maybe in an expansion, you just pick up an entirely different tree called, you know, like, I don't know, Vindication or something, or, you know, or Lone Wolf. And that talent tree, and the cool thing about the way Blizzard did their talent system is I really like that Blizzard did this. The best thing about Dragonflight was the fact that they brought back the talent system. They brought that, and I like how they do the Paladin here on the left, the Paladin main talents, and then you have your specialization talents on the right. So this is a really good way to do it, and especially for like what I was just saying. Like if you had a game where this was pretty much what you have, then when you go into a new expansion, maybe you just have another, you know, specialization tree. So you still have the Paladin tree, but instead of on the right side being Protection, Retribution, or Holy, you also have Vindication. So that new expansion exposes you to an entirely new, you know, specialization. So it doesn't really make you super more powerful than you were in the previous expansion. It just gives you a different thing to play, a different way to play that may be more enjoyable, it may be fresh, it's new, and maybe it's more powerful. I don't know. But you might find some gear that's slightly more powerful. But I think really like the way the gearing should work is, and actually let's get rid of this. As you've got here and you've got here, right? And let's say on the left is your item level. So this is your item level, right? Item level. And this down here is your character level, right? So this is your character level. Okay. And the way World of Warcraft works right now is at level 1, you know, you're very weak. Level 2, level 3, level 4, you know, and then as you start to go up, maybe you hit like level 20, you start to get a little stronger, right? And then maybe you continue this way until you get to max level. And it's like, let's say max level is level 60. So right here you're level 60. That looks like 50, but that's a 6. Then what you can do is that you can, in the expansions, you can just taper this off a lot so that you do get stronger, but just marginally. You know, like maybe not. Actually, this is probably not the best example though. Let's say you're kind of creeping along, and then it starts to do this all the way to 60. And then what I would propose is now the expansions are going to taper off. You know, and do more like this thing. You know, 60. So you're getting stronger, but just slightly stronger. Hey, what's up, Sonic? So this would be like, you know, 70. You know, so at 70, you're only like a little bit stronger than you were, right? And then, you know, 80. You know. So yeah, something like that, where the expansions, you're going to get a little bit stronger, but not the same amount of increase in strength you saw from, like, say, 50 to 60. I'm just talking about kind of some of the problems with MMOs that have been out for like a really long time and how they handle progression, and how a game like World of Warcraft, like an example, and as Miguel was saying, the reason he kind of stopped playing WoW is he felt like it's just too complicated now. There's just too much stuff. Like you fighting an enemy, and the enemy's got like 20 debuffs on them, and maybe you're fighting a player, like you're fighting a player in a battleground, and they've got like 20 buffs on them. I mean, you'll see that even like on my character, like you'll see me go in, and maybe I'll do like this and this and this and this and and you can see I've got all these, Blessing of Dawn, Avenging Wrath, and all these buffs. It's a lot of buffs. And then if you have other people in the party that are buffing me, I could have like 20, 30 buffs up here, and and debuffs, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I definitely think that. So for me, like what Blizzard should have done, I said this at least 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I've been saying it for a long time. What Blizzard should have done is they surely should have put World of Warcraft in more of like a maintenance mode, like make it more of like, okay, we're going to continue to support WoW, but we're not going to do like a major development on new content for a while. Maybe we'll keep putting out patches. Maybe we'll put out a couple of small expansions, like small, just like maybe some new zones and maybe like some new storylines. But what they really should have done was worked on an entirely new fantasy-based, high fantasy-based MMO that's in a completely different universe, like not World of Warcraft at all. And I also would definitely go with a different art style, because the one thing that really separates, MMOs.
We've been expecting you.
Whoa. Who's been expecting me?
Well met. Be careful.
Someone's talking to my character.
You are to be congratulated for your success in the Firelands.
Who's talking to me?
But praise alone will not suffice. We owe you a great deal for the part you have played in the destiny of our flight.
What?
Present me your staff, that we may endow it with great power.
Someone's doing the Azure Ghost? Yeah. Someone's turning in their Azure Ghost, I think, quest. Yeah, here it is. I've never done this.
Finally, Taragosa, our beloved sister whose essence you have generously borne, has chosen this staff as her permanent home. May her presence be a source of comfort and companionship to you.
So, yeah, so I mean, I think, when MMO's out for a long time, they start to get bloated. They get bloated for a lot of reasons. They get bloated for like abilities. There's too many abilities. There's too many buffs, debuffs. It's very complicated for new players to come into World of Warcraft and understand the PvP. There's people that have played WoW ever since the game came out, so they have a very in-depth knowledge of all the classes, all the classes' abilities, how to counter each class, what are the strengths and weaknesses of every class. You get a new player that comes into WoW, has never played it before, they have no idea. It's going to be very challenging, very difficult for them to get up to speed quickly. And a lot of people don't want to do it. A lot of people who like MMOs who've never played WoW probably don't want to play WoW because they feel intimidated. It's the same thing with me. Like when I first tried to play Final Fantasy, I was very intimidated. Final Fantasy is not the easiest game to pick up for a new player. Some of the systems are pretty complicated, and it took some time for me. And luckily I had people in the stream helping me, and if it wasn't for people helping on the stream, it would have taken me a lot longer to really pick up Final Fantasy. But yeah, WoW in my mind should have just created a new MMO, and they did try. They were trying. They were trying to make Titan, and it failed. But they were trying to make an MMO in the background. And Titan, I think it was a space, and it was going to be some sort of like a space MMO or something, sci-fi based or something. And that failed, and they took a lot of the art assets and some of the ideas, and they pivoted and turned that into Overwatch, which was a massive success for them. But it just goes to show that Blizzard is good at making video games. It's just they're a bunch of bastards because they're greedy. Not the developers, but the people who run the company or who people run Activision are just total garbage. That could be said of a lot of game companies, though. And but yeah, I think they should have just made a fresh fantasy-based MMO. And now, one game that's coming out, if you guys hadn't seen it, is Terrasland. And I believe Terrasland, it's looking like Terrasland may. And I think did I sign up for the beta? pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I'd be shocked if I didn't. Oh my God! It says okay. Maybe I didn't. I thought I had. Is there a beta sign up? Let's see. There was a closed beta. Yeah, well, it's too late now. Anyway, so Terrasland did have a closed beta. Sorry, and they had no. The thing with Terrasland is they didn't have an NDA, so we can actually see some of the gameplay. Now, you guys probably know that World of Warcraft is shutting down service in China. So China, to combat that, well, basically created their own MMO that basically completely mimics World of Warcraft, and it's called Terrasland. And it actually, from what I've seen, is pretty good.
Previous video, this one is in regards to the Terrasland open. Look at this first comment, and we're going to start with the negative comment.
Yeah, so there is a gender and race lock in this game, which of course is going to piss off a lot of American people.
Comments first, I think, and then end on a positive note about Terrasland. So
that's always fun.
This one, a beautiful game, but the gender and race lock is a big no-go for me, sadly.
Yeah.
Go, man. What do you think about gender and race locking games in 2023? Is this kind of outdated, right?
Yeah, that's just a no-go. I agree.
You can see it's very stylized, looks very kind of World of Warcrafty.
Perfect words. Like, what if the class you want to play is locked behind that? And I don't know, it's like, and it's not to say like if it's a particular female class or not. Like, I don't mind playing females in games. I think in some cases they look better. Let's talk about, or just shout out Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, I chose to play Cassandra in that because I just thought she fit it better. So for some, I get why they wouldn't want to. I feel that way depending on the game too. So yeah.
Another mobile MMO. Yep, gonna be BS. I like his optimism here, Scott.
I mean,
what are your thoughts?
Hey.
I mean, there is a stigma around mobile games, right?
Yeah.
So.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Is he right?
To the stars and seek.
But here's actual gameplay from the Terrasland beta.
And find the truth.
Face my destiny and find my truth. PC, got you. Did it just come out, Liverpool? Is it a new game? Oh, here we go. A giant open floor. What do you think about a boss battle? It's probably gonna happen. Odds we're about to get into a fight with some creature. Some ghost.
We can see the movement of the characters isn't as smooth as WoW.
Ta-da! The Eye of Truth accepted your challenge.
Yeah.
The answer will be displayed in the glowing circle in front of you. Stand in it to choose.
All right, here we go.
Question 1. What is Faber's something special?
Yeah, but okay, but
oh, bro,
what do you guys notice here? This is a Chinese MMO, but it's already localized for English. You know what I mean? So because they haven't announced a release date in the West, but the fact that we're already watching these quests in English means that they must be releasing this, in the West. They were supposed to be released at the end of this year, is what I've been hearing.
I don't know. Chicken.
Question 2. What is the symbol of the Capulet family?
Symbol of the Capulet? Does it mean the symbol of the past or the present?
Bro, I don't know. How am I supposed to...
It's true.
Your Highness, may I have a look?
I bet he's a bad...
He looks like Tyrion from Game of Thrones.
Bad guy.
Perhaps my master has his own plans for the design?
I bet he's a bad guy.
Orin, please take a look at it. Why did Sir Faber...
Look at the Tauren. I mean, look at this guy. Is he supposed to be a Tauren?
Design it this way.
Illusion with the Doomsday Apostle.
Is she supposed to be Jaina?
Did Sir Faber design it this way?
Of course, the voice acting is really bad, but
As
I
expected
mean, just the
of my
voices don't
master,
match the
design is
mouths.
exquisite.
The interface looks nice and clean. Yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, it looks a little bit. And whenever I see these buttons, big buttons on the bottom right corner like this, and these big butt squares, makes me feel like a mobile game.
Eyes are dry.
Don't say I didn't remind you.
Get away from the big bad wolf.
The big bad wolf. Feels very cartoony. Feels like a kid's game right
Why am
now.
I a sheep right now?
Because it's a Chinese game.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
I just.
Water balls to stop the boss from absorbing it.
Dark Souls moment? I know, don't make me bust out the death counter, bro. I've actually died like twice so far playing this. Knock the water balls back. Oh, is that why he has so much health? Is he gaining health back from the water?
Rescue teammates.
Rescue teammates. Anyways, so Terrace Land, this is the beta, and this is probably just from a few weeks ago or a month ago. So the beta was out, and they didn't have an NDA on it. So and you can see that it's already got like translated to to English. So this is something that we can probably play. I'm hoping at the end of the year. Yeah, I think something we can play at the end of the year, but it doesn't look it doesn't look that great to me. I mean, I'd play this game if it came out, but it looks like a lesser version of World of Warcraft, right? Like the graphics aren't as good. They're pretty plain Jane. These columns look really plain. The floor looks really plain. The colors are kind of plain. Everything about the games, it's kind of like WoW, you know, a slightly not as good version of World of Warcraft, you know. But it looks so much like WoW. Like the art style is very similar. Let's take a look at this. See, this is more stylized than World of Warcraft. When you see like the grass here and these wooden beams here, this is definitely more stylized. This almost makes me feel something like you know, Genshin Impact almost, you know, anime styled. And these big buttons here. This is like, what is he playing on a console? Look at his hands. He's using a controller.
Isn't that sick? It's so sick, right?
Is he using a controller? Yeah, he is, right? Or is he on his phone? No? Yeah, I guess so. So this will be, you know, mobile game as well. You know what we haven't played in a while? What is it called? What's that Russian MMO I haven't played in a while? Sky. What's it called? What's it called? I think it's still out there. I don't know if you guys have ever played it. Oh, what's it called? Finally, an MMO that respects your time. As we Gold played Black Desert. Oh my god. Skyforge. I think that's it, right? Skyforge. 2021.
Skyforge is a free-to-play instanced sci-fi MMORPG that initially released.
Skyforge is not horrible.
I absolutely hated this game.
Oh, he hated it.
Released. But since then, the game has had many expansions and updates. So in this video, we'll be revisiting to see if the new player experience has improved enough to hook me in. Skyforge features 18 playable classes that you can switch between on the
There's a
same
lot of
character,
classes.
a heavily instanced world, an action combat system, and a unique theme where you play as an immortal god in a futuristic My first impressions are as follows. The character creation is okay. The graphics are okay. I like that you can play and unlock every class on one character. Some of the combat abilities look pretty cool, and later on you unlock God Form that gives you a new set of powerful abilities. Overall, the combat feels okay, even if it's a bit basic and lacks the same fluidity and impactfulness of combat in other MMOs. The game is free to play, so it might be an hour or two of free fun. Since the game's been out for a long time, there's a lot of content updates to catch up on as a new player. Skyforge is known for being a pay-to-win game. I was unable to find a multiplayer game.
Yeah, Skyforge. I played Skyforge, and actually I enjoyed it the first time I played it, but that was a long time ago. But like I said, I'm still waiting for a new MMO to play. Like really, seriously, I'm looking for that new MMO. I mean, right now we just, you know, I like Baldur's Gate was fun. I liked Baldur's Gate, but I get bored of RPGs very quickly. I find them a little bit kludge. I find them like, I mean, it's a story-based game too. So a lot of people enjoy it because it is like a story, you know. And the story is written. I wasn't really a big fan of some of the sex scenes, like when the troll was, or the ogre was like basically fucking like this really gross big fat woman troll thing. I thought that was pretty gross, honestly, and I could do without seeing that in an MMO or in an RPG. I thought that was kind of nasty. Yeah, those types of games, I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. I think that's just because I really love the open world. I love open world. I love being able to just walk out into a massive world and being able to just pick a direction and go. Doesn't matter. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to go this way. And that's why I like crafting, like meaningful crafting, because as you're doing that, as you're saying, well, I just want to pick a direction and go, you can actually, you know, do some crafting. You can chop down some trees, maybe find some rare resources. And then as you're exploring, maybe you'll find like a cave or, you know, or some sort of a rare monster or some sort of a unique quest. But I like, that's what I like. I like just being able to explore. And I think in games like, you know, Baldur's Gate, you really can't explore. I mean, it's a very small maps. You're just, you know, you can explore, but there's not a lot to explore really. You basically follow the story or you're not getting anywhere. You know, if you're not doing the story, you're kind of not really
You are to be
going anywhere.
congratulated for your success in the Firelands. But praise alone will not suffice. We owe you a great deal for the part you have played in the destiny of our flight. Present me your staff, that we may endow it with great power. Finally, Taragosa.
That was a fast queue. Finally, Taragosa. Multiple people are completing that quest. No priest. I wish we had a priest or a lock. We have a lock, but... Or no, we don't have a lock. That's a... Well, we do have 4 hunters, though, which usually bodes pretty well. Look at the mount I got in the Firelands earlier today. It's only like a 4% drop rate. I've killed that boss probably about, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 times. So... Did I like not grab the orb? I do that sometimes. I run right past it. Ah, Julian.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I'm huge. Look how big my character is. Look how large my character is.
Kiss your ass goodbye.
No! Oh my god, I don't want to jinx it, but if I can hold this.
Kiss your ass goodbye.
No, I just jinxed it. I was going to say if I could hold that to 1500, which I almost did, that would have been the first time I've ever picked up the orb at the beginning of the game and held it the entire game. That would have been like a first. As you look at my victory points, 314. That would have been like a first for me. Almost did it. Yeah, let's just kill somebody. Give me someone to kill. Alright, well, we also leveled. So we are now level 59. Level 59. Oh, actually, I grabbed this ability, and according to my build, it's not. Wow, they don't actually want me to use that. Interesting. Ooh, can I respec? Oh. Does it cost anything? Well, let's not respec yet, but I wasn't supposed to pick up this ability, but I saw this and I was like, man, this ability's cool, and I'm going to get it. They want me to get this one. Your next 3 casts of shield, right? Shield, that's no holy power. That's pretty cool, though. Let's put this here. Where are we going to keybind this, though? I'm starting to run out of... I have a lot of abilities here. I have a lot of abilities. Okay. Let's go ahead and test this one out on a target dummy. Would have made more sense to make this Control D, but I've been using that way for so long. So, yeah. So basically we hit that key and then we can just basically spam. Man, it's actually a really strong ability. Your next 3 casts of Shield of the Righteous or Word of Glory side. Wow. That's actually really strong. And it's on a pretty short cooldown. If we want to get off 3 Word of Glory, if it kills, we can just pop that. Or if we're trying to get a kill, we can do it. Probably would never really want to use that for a kill. Not unless I was trying to kill like a flag carrier, because I would prefer to save that for healing. For like, you know, healing when I need it in a pinch. I don't hear my wife. Hold on a second. I want to see if she came home. I thought she should have been home by now. I'm going to call my wife because she should have been home by now, and I don't know where she's at. So give me a second, guys. Yeah, maybe I won't call her since I just got this pop. Maybe she's just stopped somewhere on the way home. I hope that's all it was. Excuse me. Wow, Searing Glare, that's pretty cool. But I like the Steed of Glory. Gives me better movement speed. It's really good for Eye of the Storm because I can knock people off the middle. I'm seeing some lag on here for some reason, which is really weird. I don't normally get lag in a while. I'm definitely seeing a little bit of lag. Probably just need to do a fresh reboot of my computer. Oh, got the stealth. I haven't seen a rogue stealth the group in a while. I always loved that ability. Let's get back into the stealth window. Such a cool ability.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
See, I run through there and they all focus on me, and guess what? Boom, I just heal myself.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Well, this doesn't look too good, does it? Well, let me go protect our flag carrier. Yeah, this is going to be a loss.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah. The funny thing about this character is, like, if I haven't, like, even just not playing for like the last half hour or whatever, I'm rusty. Like right there, I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what abilities to use. There's so many skills I have. Like, you have to be like really on top of what you're doing, and I wasn't there. I was like looking at my cooldowns, like what's available to me, and I really should have laid on hands there. I should have used my divine steed. There's a lot of things I could have done there to get away, and I didn't do any of them. Just partly because I'm tired, but also partly because when I haven't, like, for me, whenever I play a BG, my first BG or two, it always takes just to warm up, just to get the juices flowing, just to kind of get my brain synapses firing correctly.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Ooh, the damage that Shadow Priest does, man. That's insane how much damage that Shadow Priest is doing. Look, she's still trying to chase me down, too. You see that? It's funny how people will, like, chase you, like, all over the map.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Look at how, like, I'm not even doing any damage.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Like I'm, like, not doing any damage to this character.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
You know? It's, like, insane, like, how how a Shadow Priest can be so tanky, and that's actually another thing too, like of you know, of another thing about WoW that I think that I've always hated. And it started as early as I think, like, I don't know if it was Cataclysm or, but there was a certain point where they started to give every class the ability to heal and basically just mitigate damage. And you know, really, I'm a firm believer that if you're not a healer, you shouldn't really be like healing yourself, you know.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, died in a stun there. But you get, like, one of the things about some of the later expansions that just, they really ruin the game is it becomes difficult. You find characters that are difficult to kill. For example, that Shadow Priest. I mean, Shadow Priest is like, does a shit ton of damage, and yet that Shadow Priest was almost like, I mean, I was pounding on it, and I was like doing no damage. You know, what that's like ridiculous. Like, my character's hard to kill, as you can see, but I don't do good damage. So my character's kind of, you know, kind of a waste of space to a certain degree. But a Shadow Priest isn't. In fact, Shadow Priests in current 10.1.5 are one of the most powerful DPS in the game. They are incredibly strong, you know.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. But yeah, at a certain part, you know, what was so cool about Burning Crusade and about Wrath of the Lich King was that PvP was much more simplistic, but it was more about, like, you know, tactics and like and like compositions, and it's still kind of that way but you have to be at the highest level of understanding of the classes, you know, whereas most people aren't. So you go up into a battleground, you go up against a Shadow Priest who's doing a ton of damage, but she's like unkillable, and you just like, you feel like, well, what do I do? But there are things you can do, but you have to really understand the classes. But anyways, my wife just got home. Yeah, she did. So I'm gonna drop off the stream, guys. And let me just jump out of this battleground. We're not gonna win this anyway. How do I get out of here? Leave battleground. /AFK. That does it, right? AFK. There we go. But yeah, it's fun to play PvP in Dragonflight or any WoW expansion, but what happens is I find it the most fun in the brackets from like 20 to like 50. And once you start to get to higher levels where people have more and more skills, certain classes just become so, they just have so much in their toolkit that it starts to make the game really kind of just boring, you know. It just, you know, you saw there's a lot of people running around having a hard time killing people, even though they're doing it godly, you know, crazy amounts of damage, because the healers are healing so much. People have so many different types of abilities that are defensive abilities, and that's the problem with the game. You know, in my opinion, it's been that way for a long time. DPS players should be doing DPS. Healers should be healing. I am a protection paladin. I mean, I shouldn't be putting out the kind of heals I put out. Ran a battleground earlier, and I did like 500,000 healing as a protection paladin. That's just ridiculous, right? If we look at the stats, I did really bad. Alliance does not do well after 5 p.m. for some reason. Where's the statistics? Statistics, player versus player. Battlegrounds. I mean, look, I'm pretty awful. I'm 51 and 46. But I was well under 500 at one point on this character. We started to definitely turn that around. We're over 50% win percentage now, and actually going up. I think trending in the right direction. But I think this character's kind of reached almost the pinnacle. I don't really think she can do a whole lot because her DPS is just too low. Her survivability is fantastic. She's got decent support, but her DPS is just far too low to be like effective in battlegrounds at this point, I think. Anyways, I'm gonna take a break. I will catch you guys later, man. Hope everybody's having a good one. Peace out.